Right, so basically, you're Wayne, the guy that was pulled out of the river there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about that, Wayne? Even though as difficult as it might be for you.
Yeah, because I'm sick of killing that with drugs. I'm sick of dulling this pain with drugs.
What pain is that?
Like trauma. Everyone has trauma, I think, and that's
So
why
what
they
you're
go-
saying is you're an addict, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Very
How did you,
unfortunate.
what age did you first go on drugs at?
13.
13?
Yeah.
Okay, geez, that's a very young age to go on drugs. And what drugs did you actually go on, if you don't mind me asking?
Cocaine, weed, started off with.
Was there a reason why you went on drugs?
I think it was poverty or something, I don't know, I just
So
wanted
something
to
you
do it
got
'cause I
mixed
was
up in?
young.
Yeah,
mixed
exactly.
up in.
Young and dumb, basically.
I
So,
didn't- yeah,
so right. So look, we'll fast forward to there a couple of weeks ago. You were in a distressed state.
yeah.
So what happened there?
So before I felt suicidal, so when I went to the hospital, the crisis team seen me.
Okay.
And I warned them about it.
And this is the Limerick City Hospital.
Limerick's
University
University Hospital.
Hospital,
So,
sorry, right?
the crisis team, no, I'm not even lying, so they literally laughed. They said, laughed at each other. You're not suicidal.
So they could actually tell you what was inside
Yeah,
their head
just by looking at you.
just by looking at you.
Less than an hour later, I was
Okay,
in the
so
fucking,
no, but basically, so when you so they said that you weren't suicidal.
I was crying out for help to them.
You were looking for help from them, right?
Yeah.
What kind of help were you looking for?
Anything not to die, some release of hope whatsoever.
So you were looking for help,
Yes.
basically something that
Yeah.
they're there for.
Yeah,
And so basically, they didn't take you serious.
not at all. Not,
Okay, so basically they failed their duty of care in one
Yes.
sense.
Yes, 100%.
And basically, when you left the hospital, Wayne, what happened then?
I went straight down to the river.
Okay, which river's this?
The river by Jory's Inn Hotel in Limerick City after roundabout, and the last car I seen, I just goes like, look, phone somebody to click my body, because I was really serious about getting clean this time. And I jumped off the bridge. Just by chance, people said they were doing their rounds. I seen her jumping in. They drove over to me, pulled me off out of the river into the boat. We're gonna look after you now. Get out to the hospital, and the fucking door more or less fobbing me off out there.
This is after the suicide
Yeah,
attempt.
after the suicide even.
Okay, right, right. So basically, like Wayne, there's systems in place, and
Yeah.
none of them seem to be opening any doors here.
No.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Do you really have enough of this life? At the end of the day, like, so would it be fair to say that basically the drugs didn't make you jump in the water? You jumped in the water to get away from the drugs. Would that be fair to say?
Yes,
Okay, I get
100%.
that. I feel that.
100%.
I actually passed the same day you were getting pulled out. I actually did.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm speaking with you now. So basically, when out in the hospital, so when you went back out, did you meet with the same team?
No, I was met with a wall of silence.
So basically, they couldn't
Yeah.
face you after getting the wrong verdict. Okay, I
Yeah.
get that.
They wouldn't tell me their names. I was asking for their names, who they were. Not one of them would tell me their names.
Right.
And
Did any of the same people approach you? They told you weren't suicidal, even though you came back in as a suicide
not one.
after the suicide attempt.
no,
Okay, so who were you met with out there then, man?
they wouldn't tell me their names.
But they were members of the
Of the
staff of the
crisis-
hospital, of
yes,
the crisis team.
crisis
Okay.
team, yeah.
And what did they actually do for you, when?
I went out because I thought they would have prevented suicide, but they just told me I wasn't suicidal. Discharged me.
Right.
Manually just discharged me.
No, but
out
I'm
the
actually
door.
speaking about now after the suicide attempt. So when you
Yeah.
went back to hospital after that, I take it, what actually happened then?
It took about another 6-7 hours for 2 people to see me.
Okay. That's a very long time, even though I know they're busy.
Yeah.
A man in the distress
Just-
state.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
everyone is,
I understand like that
they're.
I understand that they're busy people, but seven
Yeah.
hours is a lot. And in them 7 hours, Wayne, do you mind if I ask where
Yeah,
they put you and what they actually done for you?
They put me in the A&E and they made me wait there until the end of the night till I seen 2 people. They gave me a list of names
Okay.
to go away and see other crisis teams.
Okay.
Well, they had that there in place. I don't understand why they couldn't help me there in the first
Exactly.
place. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that just pissed me right off, man.
But
and
what I
feeling
can't make,
hopeless.
no, listen, there's always hope, hence why
Yeah,
we're making this
yeah.
video today. Basically, what we're doing is we're just turning the light on them, we're exposing them for the failures that they're after committing, you know?
Yeah.
So basically, like, you weren't in the right frame of mind, would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
But there's a place outside there, it's called 5Bs, for when you're mentally
Yeah.
distressed. What I can't make out is from speaking with you,
Yeah.
why weren't you admitted to there?
I was begging
Seems
for
that you
them.
tried to, okay, you
I was
beg,
begging them for 5B. They wouldn't send me in there. They said,
What was-
you're not for 5B.
after
Straight-
committing suicide,
yeah,
when you
straight
weren't in the
and
right
simple.
frame of mind?
Yes.
I don't
straight and
understand
simple.
it. I
No,
don't
don't
understand
worry,
it. Okay, so
Organs of the
basically,
mind.
in the 7 hours, when, if you don't mind me
Yeah,
asking, right,
yeah.
what did they actually do for you? What did they actually come and say to you? Like, were you prescribed? Were you like interviewed? Did they prescribe you any medication? Did they try and get you in with someone to help you, like with your rehabilitation? None of this, no?
No, they just give me one little dose of methadone and it says, look, there's a list of numbers there, you should phone them. Do you know
So
what I mean?
basically, they gave you a little bit of a quick fix,
Yeah,
and they
out
gave
the
you
door
numbers
again.
to ring, and they,
Yeah.
they actually left you go after the suicide
Oh,
attempt.
yes. Yeah, definitely, just out the door.
What I don't get is the reason why there's so many cases of this in Limerick, and I think it's fair to speak about it, is because like people aren't doing enough.
No.
Basically, if it was someone, like anyone, it doesn't matter. If that was my job and my position, until I knew they were fully able to go to be back in the street in the right frame of mind with the right help and care, they would not be allowed back out. So basically, you could have came back in the road and just you mightn't have been saved the second time.
Yeah, exactly.
I find that very tough, me when I really do. So
Yeah.
basically, the reason why this video has been made today is because I actually know you since I'm a child, and so basically, like, I feel so sorry for you, and I met you in the People's Park today. Now, would you like to talk about what your plan was today?
I was going down to the river again to jump in and stay in there this time and swim to the bottom.
But how were you going to swim to the bottom?
When I
Remember,
jump in first and then when all my breath's gone, I won't have time enough to swim to the
did you
top
not? Jeez, that's even
So,
worse.
like,
So
that's what I
basically,
rightly went-
what you're saying is, why do you want anyone to save you when they're not properly saving you? Getting you
Exactly.
out of the water,
I'm
that's
just-
not the full
yeah,
extent.
yeah.
What you need here in place, when is like in fairness, I can't make it out. There's systems in place for issues like this.
Yeah.
Okay, if a person doesn't want help,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do. But what
Exactly.
about when a young man is trying out here? You're
Yes.
still alive at the
This
end of the day.
This is the difference.
Like in
today.
fairness,
I
I'm
actually want help.
I'm sure
You know
you're a
what I mean?
son. I'm sure you're a son. I'm sure you're an uncle, a brother. You have people out there that loves you. Must be terrible distressed. I know, like when you suffer with addiction, you lose yourself
Yeah.
and you lose all your family and the whole
Yeah.
lot, like and all.
Yeah.
But what about when a person is crying out for addiction?
Exactly.
Where's the help? You could be the life for fellow people that's in the same boat as you.
Yes.
People
Yeah.
don't understand. A lot of people suffering down to drug use is to just block out the stress that they've been through. But
Yeah.
people don't understand this. The people that are in charge learned it from a book. They didn't actually learn it. There's no look when you could be the person there to show people the way forward from all this. But basically, things have to change. No wonder there's such a need for suicide prevention because there's so much of it going on because they're creating it. They're not doing
Exactly.
enough.
And that's why lads aren't going out there because they already know they're going to be sent away without any help. And
Exactly.
That's a hopeless case.
So basically, what you're saying, Wayne, is people would rather go to the river than go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, yeah.
Wayne, this is very upsetting.
I fear for my life. Right now, I fear for my life. I right now fear for my life.
Wayne,
And
can I ask you something,
yeah,
right?
go ahead.
Okay, so look, I know you probably tried a few times to give up drugs and things
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
Why do you want to give them up so much now?
Because now I know, like, an addict could say something 20,000 times before he means it because the drugs are so strong. You actually mean it every time you say it, but until you really mean it seriously, you can mean it at the end of the day. Now is the time.
Okay.
And it's real, because I know it's real, because I do want fucking help this time. Like, you have to want this to get received help, otherwise it's hopeless, 'cause you'll go back doing the same thing. But I want help now. I'd swear I'd never use drugs again.
Okay.
I'd swear on anything to do that.
No, I believe you. So basically, like, Wayne,
Yeah.
what would you actually like from life now? If it could be put in place, what are the things that you truly enjoy and could avail of and that you really appreciate and things that you've missed out on for so long?
I'd like a roof over my head. I'd really appreciate a roof over my head.
Okay.
A place where I can wash. A place where I can pay rent to eat. Like I already had, but then lost due to something fucking stupid. But a
Okay.
job. I'd like to go back working.
No,
again.
sorry, could I stop you there a
Yeah,
minute,
yeah.
not to be rude? So basically, you were saying you had a place to stay
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and all that. So basically, so would you like to speak about what happened there?
Yes, I was staying down a hostel,
Which hostel is this, Wayne?
St Patrick's Hostel on Clare
Okay,
Street.
do you mind if I ask how long ago this
Yeah.
was?
This is about 4 weeks ago. No, sorry, 7 weeks ago when I was
Right.
thrown out of there for. They said something that I.
Hang on a minute,
Yeah,
do you mind
yeah.
if I ask who
Yeah.
said?
The owner of the place, Melissa Fitzgerald.
Melissa Fitzgerald,
Yeah,
okay. Now,
yeah.
would you like to speak to me about Melissa? Had you a good relationship?
The second I went in there, people were warning me over she was treacherous.
Okay,
Now,
in what
I
way?
I thought, like, she was throwing lads out for nothing. Like, you know, shaking hands with a person, she said, "Oh, you handed him drugs, you're out." I know a guy down there.
So she was making accusations without proof, would that be fair
and,
to say?
And she knew,
Okay.
and she knew damn well that when the truth. She was just looking
But if
for
it was
spaces.
drugs, why didn't she intervene, Wayne, and try and stop
Exactly.
it?
That's what I can't understand.
Couldn't she at least went back in cameras and couldn't she at least made sure, because we all make mistakes, sugar can look like salt, you know?
6 key workers is after leaving there in the past month due to lack of mental health down there.
So basically
and
what they're
putting up for her to get to sack because she's doing a fucking she's not able for the job.
Okay.
I'm not putting a
And when you
woman
say
down.
she's not able, in
Like,
what way is she not able,
like,
Wayne? Is she
she's no
elderly?
empathy. She's not empathy. She's not understanding. She don't want to understand it. I don't think. And she
So
took me out
basically-
onto the road, and I was suicidal. I told her, this is my last stop, Melissa.
So you mean to say, so basically, when you were thrown out and you
Yeah.
you thought that was the final door closed,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the only thing, you were hanging in there by a thread.
I burned down
So
my
is
bridges.
this basically,
Yeah.
basically, can I ask you, what
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the actual reason that you were thrown out of the hospital for, if you don't mind speaking about it?
Racial abuse.
Racial abuse?
some-
Wait, no,
some-
can I stop you right there? Can I
Yes.
ask you something now?
Yeah.
And this is a serious question.
Yes,
Are you
100%.
racist, man?
I'm not racist, no.
Okay.
I swear to God.
No, I believe you, I believe you. So you're not a racist person.
No.
So how could you actually get involved in a racial matter?
This guy's toilet was being fixed down there. So
Okay.
he came in and used our toilet. I didn't mind that if he was
No,
cleanliness.
everyone's in the same
Yeah,
boat,
exactly.
right?
And I wouldn't mind.
Bit of
but
respect goes a long way.
I don't want me to be fucking...
But you always think of the next man that's going to come after you.
Yeah, of course,
Okay, so
you
go
might
on.
be in a situation, right?
We'll
So
move along.
If he was clean, I wouldn't mind. But this guy, I don't want me to be fucking whatever saying this language.
No, go on.
Pissed all over my toilet seat. Didn't flush
Okay,
it.
absolutely
I
disgusting.
didn't even. I don't even think he washed his hands. So I went over
Okay,
and said,
well, we don't
use
really
my
know.
toilet again.
Okay,
Yeah?
okay. So basically, this was nothing got to do with actually a racism.
Yeah.
A racism issue. This was more or less got to do with a hygiene issue. It
That's
just so
all.
happened that the person was a coloured person. Okay, right.
And
Okay,
and
I
it wasn't even
understand
the
that.
coloured person who used my toilet just knocked to his door wrongly. But his next door neighbour is the one the two of those boys were using the toilet. But the Polish guy messed with my toilet. And I thought I was knocking at the Polish guy's door, but it was the
Okay, so you made a mistake about it.
Mistake, yeah.
There was
So
so
I said,
basically
if
there
you
was an
roommate-
issue. You made a
Yeah,
mistake,
yeah.
and when you made that mistake, did you happen
I
to
said,
correct it?
I just said, sorry, I thought your man lived here.
Well,
So
racism could involve anything or anyone. It's not really about colour or anything like that. But so anyway, yeah, discrimination
so I
is
knocked at the black
discrimination.
guy's door thinking it was the Polish guy. I
Okay.
didn't mean to knock at his door because it wasn't even him I was looking for then. So
So I wouldn't
when
really say
knocked
you
at
got the
door-
wrong person. You got the wrong door.
Yes,
Okay,
100%.
these things can
So the
happen.
black guy answered the door first and I said, if you're roommate...
Sorry,
he goes,
coloured
"No."
person.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
it civil,
Black
right?
Coloured, right?
Okay.
So next minute I said, sorry, I said, if you're a roommate, and he says no. So I said, right, it's not you, but I'm looking for another guy. I knocked at his door, he answered. The black guy stayed at the door.
Coloured person.
Right, coloured person, stayed
Okay.
at the door. I said, don't use my toilet again to the Polish guy. The black guy started kicking off it. I don't even know what he was saying, but 2 or 3 days
Did he
later-
understand what you were saying?
But I just told him not to use my toilet to the Polish guy.
And can I ask you something?
Yeah,
Down in the
yeah.
hostel, is this a thing like that regularly goes on? Like that you share one another's bathrooms, or
No.
have you got your own private
No,
bathroom?
2 people have 1 bathroom to each 2 rooms.
Okay.
So, when
So you
got-
share more or less?
Yeah, 2
yeah.
people share 1 bathroom. So, yeah, when their toilet was being fixed, they started to use our toilet. I notified the key
Oh, look, I
worker.
can see how. Look, but basically, at the end of the day, you should always respect another man's space. You know.
Yes, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened actually then?
So I notified the key worker about it, and she agreed.
Who
with me.
was
She
who was the key worker?
Alice?
Alice.
That's all I say her name. It's just Alice. I don't know if I should say her second name. But
No,
look,
you should.
This is a nice woman.
No.
She's sound.
No, but
and
you're
she
only
understands.
explaining.
Yeah.
But you're only explaining.
Yeah, yeah.
So what? Alice? Who?
Alice Mannix.
Okay,
Is her name. Sorry,
okay.
Alice, if I'm putting
No,
you in the
you're
shit.
not. You're only
Well, look,
explaining. She's involved in the story.
yeah,
She's a
and
part of it.
She
You know.
agreed with me, and I didn't use any
Okay.
racial language or nothing like.
So you
I said,
explained.
don't use my toilet again.
Right.
But the 2 of them collaborated.
Okay.
And went down to the boss and told them that it.
So what you're saying is
whatever.
they got there before you.
Yes.
Was there any witnesses to this one?
No, I was just there. The 2 of them. were
So
there.
it was basically
2
what you're
against
saying is
1.
there was 2 roommates against 1.
Yes.
What I gather from it, look, I can't actually prove it. So what you're kind of saying to me, I'm only going off your words.
Yeah.
More or less, they were probably afraid of getting thrown out. So basically, the gang. So basically, what you're saying is they got there before you. Would that be fair to say?
Like
Possibly.
Yeah,
Possibly,
possibly,
yeah.
But I don't see how you could be even thrown out for pissing on a person's fucking toilet.
But you
'cause that could
didn't
be a
actually.
mistake
It's
as well.
actually urinating, but you
Yeah.
didn't actually urinate on it. It was actually these guys on your toilet.
On the floor. all over
Okay,
the
so that
toilet,
upset you. I
everything.
can see that. So what
So,
happened? So
yeah.
actually, what happened after speaking with the care worker then?
She goes, yeah, when I agree with you, you have to be cleanly and all. And I said,
You do.
I'm just notifying you because they're getting very bad over it. They want them to come back on me.
But hang on a second, Wayne. Why would they get bad over something that they had done?
I don't know.
Well, I suppose you
I-
can't.
I
That's
don't-
something I can't
Yeah.
understand. So basically, like it was
Yeah.
your toilet. It was left in a bad state. Life
Yeah,
is tough enough for you
terrible
at the
state.
moment.
Yeah.
You don't need any more issues. So
no.
what you're really saying to me is you really respected your little place, your
Yes,
bathroom,
yes.
and you were only trying to take care of it, mind it, and you didn't like the state that it was left in.
Exactly.
Okay,
yes,
I can
yeah.
understand all that.
Yeah,
There's no wrong in that. Go on, yeah.
So 2 days later, Melissa, 2 key workers came down to me and said, Wayne, you're being evicted for racial abuse.
Who were the key workers, Wayne, if you don't mind
I
asking?
these 2 girls, I actually
Oh, they were
forget their names,
women.
right?
Okay.
I think one of them's name is Charlene.
Right.
And
So
they're
basically,
nice girls,
two
but they
members.
were
So
sent
basically,
down
staff.
by
Of,
Melissa, yeah.
By Melissa
the
who?
boss. The boss, Melissa Fitzgerald.
Okay.
She says, go down to tell Wayne he's evicted, so I had to go up to Melissa.
And did you get anything in writing when?
No.
Do you not get a warning or anything like that?
There was nothing
Was there
like
not
that,
even
no.
were you not all put into the same room and
No.
asked about it? No?
No,
There was
no,
nothing of that.
nothing
So
like-
basically, okay, right. So these two girls, and how long had you got to leave when?
It's 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
15 minutes, no.
And what did they say would be, if you didn't leave basically, what did they say the outcome would be?
I suppose the guards will be called and you'll be forcibly removed.
Right, okay,
Do you know
so
what I mean?
basically, so you
I was
left when?
begging her to let me stay. Like,
I can
burnt
understand
down my
that.
bridges,
Can I,
said,
can I ask?
Please let me
So
stay.
that was your last stop, Wayne, and you were
Yes.
appreciating
Yeah.
it, respecting it, and trying to
Of
hold
course.
on to it.
Of
Okay,
course.
right, I
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So basically, what I'm saying is, right. So after you left the hostel, Wayne, so is it fair to say that you have no friends and family to turn to?
I've burnt down my relationship with them
Down
through
to
drugs,
drug use.
as everybody
Okay.
drugs do.
As that's
Do you know
what-
I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
hate drugs. I'm actually anyone who knows drugs well enough now will tell you they hate them because the drugs are calling
What to do to them?
The drugs are calling the shots.
They owned you.
They own you.
Yeah.
They're creating your whole.
It's like you
bag-
give up
badness.
everything for one thing or give up one thing for everything.
I'm sick of it all. I'm sick of it all, man. Honestly,
Right.
yeah, exactly. That's
Right,
true.
so basically what you're saying is, Wayne, would it be it's
Yeah.
just so I have this right. So basically when you left the hostel, is it then you went to the hospital and cried out for help?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah.
So basically, so this is what actually led to the suicide
Yeah,
attempt.
of course, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
geez, Wayne, this is very upsetting. There should have been. So basically, you were failed by these people. Is that fair to say?
I feel I was felt, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
I was playing ball this time, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I won't lie. There's no point in me lying anymore. I've told 50,000 lies.
Yeah.
I'm telling the truth now.
No. Exactly. Look, you're speaking from the heart, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, you're speaking from the heart. No. I just look. In fairness, your life matters, Wayne. Life is very important. We only get one of them. So at the end of the day, it's nice to live it to the fullest. And unfortunately, down to drug addiction, you've been taken away from so much. So basically, like, down to your own hands, you were willing to end it all, just
Yeah.
down to other people mistreating you. I suppose, like, basically what you're saying is, like, people don't need to be kicked when they're already down.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They need to be physically helped. Because
Yeah,
the drugs are so strong, they need to be physically helped, and there's good people there.
Yeah.
All of us
No,
are,
I
but the drugs
can
don't
tell by
respect.
talking to you because
You know,
basically we spoke, like, there's none of this rehearsed or anything like that. We're
No.
just speaking from the heart and you're just
Yeah.
explaining your issue
Yeah.
because you feel like there's no more you can do. And when I hear there's a second suicide attempt and you actually told me like that you were going to hold onto a brick to keep you down,
Yeah.
now you're on about swimming down. Like,
I
you
feel
you
desperate.
really want it. You really had enough. You really want out.
Yeah.
But when you have to realise one thing at the end of the day, life is precious. It's a gift.
I know.
Do you know? And
Yeah.
you can't throw it away. You have to realise one thing. Look, I hope after this video something can be done for you, you know? I really do. Are you a religious man?
Yeah.
Have you faith?
I do have faith, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have faith. I
You
believe-
always keep that faith, yeah. No, I just see you notice you're blessing yourself there. That's lovely to see.
And I'm a sinner, man. I've a lot of fucking
Look,
sinned,
we're
Lord,
everybody's sinners.
But I know this is something good, they're better there in life.
Yeah.
And I know I can do better because I
You
was
can.
doing better before the drugs.
Yeah.
The last time I threw my life away when I was 19. I'm now 35. The drugs took 15 years of my life.
Do you regret it,
I
Wayne?
can't get it back. I very regret it, very much. And if I could turn back time, I'd make different decisions, but I can't do that. All
No.
I have is now.
You can only go for...
And
yeah.
the people that are there to help us now aren't fucking helping us. Sorry
No.
for cursing, but they're
No,
not
you're
helping
okay.
us.
You're upset. I get
Do you know
that.
what
I
I
get
mean?
that.
So-
Yeah.
It's suicidal at this stage, literally, like so. Do you know?
But you do know with suicide, Wayne, once you're gone, you're gone.
I know,
And you're gonna,
I know,
your
man.
pain is going to be passed on to other people. And I hate saying it, but you cannot change your mind on the way down, you know. So Wayne,
Yeah.
that should be the last resort.
Yeah.
People shouldn't be jumping to this resort. What they should be
Not
saying
at
is,
all,
there's a
yes.
number I can ring, there's a process. Okay, I know people can abuse the system as well.
Yeah,
but basically,
yeah,
what about the ones? You have to give someone a chance to be
Exactly,
fully sure to see
exactly.
do they want it or not.
People have
Do you
turned
know?
their lives around.
But
Thousands
what I
of
can't
people.
make out is, these
Yeah.
places are there. The help is there. They say the funding is
The
there. They say
state's
everything
there,
is
yeah,
there.
the
Well, why
state's
aren't
there.
they helping the people? Did they want this problem to keep happening?
Do
Did
you
they
know
want things to stay the same?
It
Nothing
boggles
seems
the
to be
mind. It makes
changing.
me think that they wanted things to stay the same, and I think that she's under so much
In
pressure.
life, when you take up a position, isn't it there to make a
Duty.
change?
Yes, their
Yeah,
duty.
you have a duty of
If
care.
they-
We spoke
if they
about
apply
that.
for that. If you apply to be a guard, you have to abide by the fucking law. If you want to be a firefighter, you have to quench fires.
You have to,
Not
yeah.
like them, do you know?
Yeah,
Vice
yeah,
versa,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And
Okay,
it
no.
boggles my mind to think that someone like Melissa Fitzgerald is in charge of that place. 6 key workers are after leaving the place in the last month. due to lack of mental health. Key worker told me yesterday. And
Yeah.
she's bullying all key workers down there. So picture what way she feels
But
about
Wayne,
us.
can I ask you something,
You know?
right? She sounds like, I don't actually know the person, I can't pass much of a comment,
Yeah.
and you can't really judge someone off of someone speaking about them.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like that she's kind of like, I don't know, like she's, as you said already, like Wayne, she seems to have an issue with everyone. Like
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
can't, like the world can't be wrong and you be right. That's fair to
Exactly,
say,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
No, you should really hear a person out, like you can't pass judgment without knowing the facts of the case, you know?
Exactly, of course.
Yeah, I actually feel so sorry for you, Wayne, I really do.
Grand boy,
Yeah.
I was sick of cribbing, man. You know what I mean?
No,
I
no,
know
you're
I did
not
it myself,
cribbing.
but I want help this time.
You do.
I fucking really do, man.
Well, Wayne, I
And-
think after this video, it's after outlining a number of concerns, and basically no person to outline the concerns than the person that's going through it.
Yeah.
No one understands this life better than you know?
Yes.
No one
Yeah.
understands it better than you.
Yeah.
So
and
basically,
the rest
like,
of us that are like me on the street as well, we all understand it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And on the street, Wayne, would you like to talk about that what it's like?
It's just desperate. It's a
Okay.
cutthroat. And that's
Okay.
what makes me so...
Can I ask where you're actually sleeping now, Wayne, if you'd like to talk about it? If you-
Park benches,
Right.
A&E hospital chairs, like, cause there's nothing, like the chair in the hospital out there.
Okay.
Anywhere there's just the grass there, anything.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Anywhere
It's
you
just
can throw your head
dire
down.
straits, yeah.
And can I ask you something, Wayne? Do you feel safe in the street at nights?
No,
Yeah?
no, I don't feel safe in the street in the daytime, not even...
Can I ask a bit of a personal question, if you
Yeah,
don't mind me
yeah,
asking?
yeah.
What do you do for food? Where do you wash, Wayne? Is there any...
Anyone who... my cousin might let me in once in a blue moon to wash.
Okay.
Don't call to my aunts or uncles, they have their own problems. I'm ashamed of my life. I
You've
can't
not to
be
be
knocking
ashamed
at
of.
doors.
No,
but
no,
this
no.
is the door to knock at, and I'm after being thrown out. And I've waited ages to get in there. And
For them to do that to you.
Thrown away
So
from me.
basically, like, what you done was you actually stood up for the people in the place down there. You were actually writing an issue, but everything backfired on you.
Yes.
That's very sad. That's not right, you know? That's not right. Basically, I'm just speaking about myself. If I was working in a place and I was head in charge, I wouldn't believe no one and I would not believe anyone. I'd listen to everyone. I treat everyone the same. And I do my best. I do my best, like, to, you know, always get to the bottom of the issue
Yeah.
and make sure, like, try keep everyone safe, because
Yes.
you have to realise one thing, Wayne. You weren't just thrown out, your home was taken from you.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and so basically, what's street life like, Wayne? If you'd like to speak about it.
It's just depressing and suicidal.
Okay.
The drugs make you bear it, but when you get so sick of drugs,
Yeah.
you make a decision to say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay.
And when no one's helping you, and you're really serious about coming off it, that's when you feel suicidal.
But Wayne, can I ask you something
Yeah,
here
yeah.
now, right? I suppose a lot of people pour their heart out here like this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but how do people actually know that you're serious this time if you spoke about it so many times? What's different now, Wayne, in your life?
Because I've clean urines and I can get it in black and white right.
Okay, how long are you actually clean, Wayne?
10 months. I
10
didn't smoke
months.
here in 10 months.
Okay.
Since August I give clean urines and that's in black
What
and
about
white.
other drugs, Wayne?
I smoke weed.
Okay.
I don't drink, I smoke weed just. And I'm on Xanax with my doctor.
Prescribed, okay.
Yeah, and
right.
I think I fucking need them at this stage after the damage
Yeah,
the drugs
yeah,
done
yeah.
to my body.
Okay, okay. Right.
Yeah.
So basically, like, Wayne, if you were given opportunity in the morning, right? What opportunity would you like? What are you actually asking for, Wayne?
I just want a chance to get my life back. I want a job and a roof over my head and to
Right.
do nice things
But
in
you,
life.
you
and
do
live
know it's a
life.
long process.
And treat people
Would you
right,
be
yeah.
respectful and patient?
I would, definitely.
Okay,
definitely,
right.
Yeah,
Would you be willing to go through everything that you're asked to do?
yeah.
Right, okay.
Get it, yeah.
Okay, and would you be able to hang on to this, Wayne, when you
Yes,
get it?
Yeah, yeah.
What makes you so sure that you'll be able to hang on to it?
Because I'm so sure because I've done drugs for so long. I've said that I'm coming off drugs a million times. I never did it. But one morning there, a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
I've been drinking and I never drinks. But the morning after I woke up, I felt about drugs the way I never felt about them before. I said I can't do this anymore, and I stopped from there. When
So it was like you had an
literally didn't
epiphany.
stop
You had a
from there.
wake-up call, like,
yeah. It was like something answered my, because I was calling to God.
Well,
And
God
I-
answered you.
I felt-
Okay, look, I knew there was
You know?
something to this. So basically what you're saying is you've been praying to God all along.
Yeah.
And basically you've done something that you never do, and it led you to think of something that you never thought of.
Yeah.
So, like, basically, God answered your prayers.
Yeah.
And now, like, at the end of the day, the way you see a thing is, like, you just don't know where to turn to anymore
Yeah.
because everyone else kept turning your way. People
one-
have failed you.
Yeah, that's
I
one of
feel
my
so
prayers.
sorry for you.
Yeah,
I really
like
do
if-
feel so sorry for you.
if
My
God-
heart goes out to you.
If God was in charge down here, we'd all be safe. But
We would.
God can answer one of our prayers, but the people like Melissa have to answer the rest of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She's
Exactly.
in place for that. That's our job to actually try to do that if
It
we're
is.
willing to do it.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, do you know? So
And you were saying, when it wasn't just you in the hostel. Now, I don't want any lads' names mentioned
no,
for
at all,
privacy
no.
reasons or anything like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but there was other. So basically what you're saying is, would there be any witnesses to this abuse, when? Like basically, like unfairly treating people.
Yeah, the whole hostel knows
Was
about this.
there other lads that was actually evicted?
Yeah, loads of us. Loads of us were
Okay,
evicted.
how many in total, roughly?
From my own knowledge, about 20 in the last 2 months, 3 months. 20
No,
people.
I'm sure, Wayne, that there is people down there that can be abrupt, like, and they can
Yeah.
kind of more or less there has no other choice to remove them, not to be upsetting the rest of the people staying down there.
No, but they
No,
deserve a chance.
they
Yeah.
do, Wayne, but basically I can understand. Look, I'm sure there's been issues where she had no other choice to get the people to remove because
Yeah,
they probably
yes,
weren't
yeah.
suitable and they
Yeah.
were probably causing a bit of ruckus
Yeah.
down there, you know. So okay, I can understand that, but in your case, Wayne, it doesn't sound to be that, you know.
And
Doesn't
a lot
sound
of
to be
other
that.
cases too, they should have been treated. Yeah.
Okay, so she's been very unfair.
Very unfair. Yeah.
Excuse me. So basically, if we didn't speak about this today, I don't think anyone would know about it. I don't think anyone has came forward. But look, as I said, Wayne, I know you a long time. I know you basically all your life because I'd be older than you. And I actually feel so sorry for you. Like, you actually come from a very, very decent family. You came from a lovely family home. Basically, look, you're not the first person, unfortunately, to get wrapped up in the drug scene, and you won't be the last.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand. People actually turn to drugs to escape hardships that they've been through.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a real serious issue at the moment, and more needs to be done. Like, in fairness, for the times that we're in, there's, like, in fairness, life is precious. We still shouldn't be dealing with these issues. I know there's so much going on, and a lot of people, like, you know, like, they're trying to do the best they can. I get all that, I understand all that, but let's be realistic, when there's people being failed, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They can be fair people there. It's just so unfortunate that some people have the upper hand to decide whether a person's life.
So
Like,
what?
this is my life. That's only a job to them. This is my life.
That's your life,
And
you're right in
all
saying
of
that.
All the rest of the people's lives. But this is only a job to her. She's gone home to her bed and her
Very
shower
true.
at the end of the day.
Very
We're
true.
going out to the streets.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel desperate.
Yeah.
That's why.
No, I
So,
understand that, Wayne. So all you're saying to me basically here today is you just wanted to be heard.
Yeah.
And can
Yeah.
I ask, Wayne, how much were you paying down there a week?
€90.
90 euros
Yeah.
a week. And so basically, like, I take it you're not working. That would have been social welfare money.
Yes.
So since that now, Wayne, you wouldn't have an address anymore, would you?
No.
So that
No,
means you
fixed
wouldn't
the
be receiving any social payment.
No.
Okay, so basically you've been stripped of everything
Yes.
for unfair doings.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. It's just a pity, Wayne. And do you know, if you don't mind me asking, Wayne, the two lads that you had an altercation with,
Yes.
were they actually told to leave the hostel?
I think they're still there, sir. Yeah. I think
Okay.
they're still there. Anyway.
Okay,
I'm not
right.
sure, but
But all this can be found out.
Yeah.
It can be spoke about, Wayne. I feel so sorry for you.
not
So
that I
wait.
want them evicted or
No.
anything, to be honest with you,
Even-
because everyone deserves a chance. But
No, but hang
don't-
on a second, right? So
Yeah,
basically,
that's-
you're telling me lads that you had an altercation with,
Yeah.
that like when things went wrong, even though you got thrown out of the hostel to their doings, you still wouldn't like them to be thrown out.
No, of
That
course
tells me
not.
a man of great nature, great character. That's just a bit down and out.
We're all human
Well,
beings.
I think today from talking to you, if we helped you up, I think we nearly help a lot more up.
I'd
I think the
appreciate
rest will
it.
follow suit.
I hope
And do you know,
so.
yeah, do you know of other individuals being this in this situation? Not with hostels and what was done.
I know 40 people like it. Young girls, young boys, 18
Okay.
years of age, and they're crying out for help already, and there's no help there.
Can I ask you something, Wayne? Would you know how to help them? What do you think is the best way to help?
But
Okay.
the wisdom comes with age, man. So, but you have to learn
Wisdom comes from experience as well.
Yeah. So
Right.
you have to make mistakes to learn from it. So I made enough mistakes, I think, to know about what's right and what's wrong.
Well,
So what's right and what's wrong, I know what's right now. So I think now is the time for me to make it a go at life, because I wouldn't fuck it up if I was given another
how
chance.
old are you, Wayne?
35.
35, okay. Geez, you've been down this road a very, very long time.
long,
So
man.
basically, Wayne, like
long
in life, what would you like to do? What would you like in your life?
I'd like to go back painting, because that was my trade. I'd like
Painting.
a flat, and I'd like a car and a fishing rod. That's all I want in life.
Right.
Swear to God.
I don't think that's too much to ask for.
No, it's not.
And what would it mean to you if you got these things, Wayne?
Oh, it'd mean heaven to me. It would be heaven to me.
Would you appreciate them and respect them?
I'd appreciate it. It'd be one of the most things I'd appreciate so much in my whole life. to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest with
Of course.
That's what it-
So you mean to tell me, right,
Yeah.
that you could replace drugs
Yeah.
with a fishing rod and apartment,
Yes, yeah.
a bit of a job, and all you need is a bit of a help to get these
Yes,
things?
yeah.
Okay, right, I get that, I understand that.
Thanks, man.
Wayne, you do know, right, that there is people out there that this is going to touch them, and I hope that they come forward and speak with us. Because, like, in fairness, like,
Yeah.
I got a real fright when I seen the look in your eyes that you were going down to that river, and I truly believe you. You've been down there already, Wayne.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go back down there again?
ashamed of my
Like,
life.
in all, no, you've nothing to be ashamed of, Wayne. Why are you ashamed?
Because the shame comes with all the drugs I've done and everything. I shouldn't have done what I've done, but that's addiction for you.
But you
I'm
can't,
sorry for
you
what I've
cannot
done,
turn back
but
the
I did
hand.
it to myself.
You-
I didn't mean to hurt anybody else.
No,
Do you know,
no,
it's
no.
my own
Basically,
safe,
when.
but
But look, at the
everyone
end of the
suffered.
day, it was the drugs hurted the people, not you. Just unfortunately, you were the ones that took them, and it made you do, you know, certain things and all.
Yeah.
But as I said, Wayne, it's part and parcel. But like, can I ask you something, Wayne? Like the things that you've done, fair enough, we've all done wrong in life.
Yeah.
Have you only done wrong on drugs?
yes, most
There
of
you
them.
go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, drugs, yeah.
The drugs lead you to all these bad
Yeah.
places, don't they?
They turn you into something that you're not.
That you're
Definitely
not.
not.
Yeah, okay. No,
Do you
no,
know?
I get that. I
They
get that.
replace your whole character.
I get that.
And you
So
can't
like.
be judged on someone like on
I
drugs.
can't believe, like, so all you want to do, so what you're telling me here today, Wayne, is you just want your life back.
That's all
You
I
want your
want.
life back, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you miss your family, Wayne?
I do.
What do you miss about family life the most? I don't mean to go deep, but I want people to understand, Wayne.
I miss sitting down talking with them, and I can't even do that. I haven't done it for fucking ages.
Okay.
And even that, just talking to somebody like yourself, man,
Okay.
I appreciated it today.
Oh, I know, you
And
needed it.
Everybody needs their family, but
They
like,
do.
I
But
do
you
miss
lost
my
yours
family.
down to addiction.
Yeah.
But do you hold any resentment towards them?
No, I can't.
Do you blame
I
them?
don't, because I don't blame them at all.
Why don't you blame them?
Because they don't understand about drugs. They don't understand about the drugs.
But
and I
can
feel
you
sorry for
take...
them even.
Okay, but like in fairness,
Obviously, I do, of
I know
course.
they don't understand about drugs, but when they would have got knowledgeable down to your abuse. But one thing I want to ask you about as well, like,
go on.
do you like basically, do you take responsibility for your actions that you caused this?
100%.
Do you blame them for any wrongs that did they do any wrong to you?
No.
Okay,
All
okay,
they tried
okay.
to do was help me.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I suppose, unfortunately, Wayne, were the drugs too powerful?
The drugs are just evil. They're too powerful. Too powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's evil. Like
So in the morning, Wayne, right? If someone reached out and they helped you,
Yeah.
what, like in fairness, like, so it'd mean a lot to you, would it?
It would mean more than. a
And
lot
you
to
know,
me.
if you got help, Wayne, like,
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you be, would like in fairness, like, would you be willing to help other people?
I would, yeah. I'd put
If there was
some.
some- Okay, Wayne, okay. But you do know, Wayne, can I ask you something here now? And I want you to really, really listen to this, right?
Right.
If you got a place in the morning,
Yeah.
say you got your job, you got your life back, you got your fishing rods, you got whatever you desire. Look, your favourite meals in the fridge and your favourite drink and all things like that. You had
Yeah.
everything you ever wanted.
Right.
Like, do you know the consequences of going back in drugs? What had actually happened? What would
Yeah.
actually happen if you went back in drugs?
Everything would that I wished for the last couple of years would collapse, and it would. I'd never get it.
Right?
Yeah,
No,
I'd-
I'm on
I'd-
about
I'd-
you already have it now. Say you have all these things.
And-
And you go back to drugs. Do you understand what happens then?
That's the highest disappreciation of it, and you're clearly not ready for it. But I am ready for it because I know I wouldn't do it.
I understand
Again,
that, but no,
yeah.
the actual question, I don't know if it's how I'm asking it. Like, basically, do you understand what had happened, right? If
Yeah.
you got all these things and went back in drugs, do you understand what had happened with
Yeah.
all these things that you're after getting, with your flat, with everything, your little
I'd
bit of
lose it
work?
all. I'd lose it all.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you
of
very
course I know
much.
that, dude. Yeah,
So you'd
yeah.
lose it all, when?
Yeah, I'd lose
So
it all.
would it be fair to
And
say?
I'd blame no one but my fucking self this time.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Are you sure you're ready for this one?
I'm definitely ready, 100%.
Okay,
I just
look,
need
I
help.
believe it. I
I
need-
need help as well.
Right.
Do you know?
Wayne, can I ask you something now as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be. I know you're very, very stressed out and things like
Yeah,
that.
go
You
on,
were actually
right.
very dehydrated when I met you first of all and things like that. Who would you like, Wayne, to actually watch this video and come and help you? Who would you like this video to reach, Wayne?
Anyone who wants to get off of drugs, and even
But
lads who
Wayne, you're
don't-
trying to help other people before you help yourself.
Yeah,
If anyone could watch this video at the moment, right? Who would you like to see it?
someone who could help me. Like, do you know someone who could help me?
So
And I
I'll-
don't know who that is yet.
Right.
I swear to God, I don't know who that is.
So you've been like, they haven't informed you, Wayne, they haven't sat you down, they haven't explained to you. Like, I can't believe that this is going on in this day and age. It's absolutely
neither can
appalling.
I.
It's
It's-
appalling that we have an issue like this. It
yeah.
really is. Like, the times
gone
we've come,
past appalling.
we've come
Past
a long,
appalling.
long way. Now, like, basically, like, the hardship can be much, much, much greater. It
Yeah.
really, really can, like, Wayne.
Yeah.
Like, in fairness, with you taking your life, how do we know someone wouldn't follow? Could be a close family member,
Exactly,
a friend.
yeah, yeah.
So, Wayne, like, in fairness, like, I think this is what's been going on all along. Geez, we're after going rightly deep into this now
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
It's so sad, but, like, after this video, Wayne, are you going to stay strong and wait
Yes,
for the
yeah.
help?
I'll try, I swear to God.
No,
Yeah,
you're
I
going to.
will,
You're
I will,
not. Like, Wayne, in fairness, right?
Yeah.
I want you to change your mind about what you told me you were going to do.
I will, I promise you.
No,
I
no,
won't,
no, I
promise
know
you.
that. Listen, no, you're all right.
Sorry
Look,
about that.
No, you've nothing to be
No
sorry
man
about.
should ever hear another man saying that.
No, but you're very-
everyone has breaking points.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I'm really suicidal right now because I know I'm serious about coming off it. I know no one's fucking listening to me, pal.
So basically, we spoke about when you're very religious. You have your beliefs.
Yeah, I'm religious
Can I,
enough.
you,
like,
do you blame God for any of this, man?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Good man. So like basically, Wayne. So what you're kind of more or less telling me is that you'd rather be with God than stuck here.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Because
I
you
were-
know He'd make it better and keep you safe, and He would.
Yeah.
But Wayne, unfortunately, like no one gets to decide when your life is over, only Him.
Yeah.
Wayne, I'm sure that there's going to be people that this is going to touch them because this is from the heart, you know. This is not like this is something that should have been highlighted a long time ago. People like yourself, Wayne, that's been through it. Look, it's like, for instance, at times as well, you can't experience something unless you go through it or you have that issue or problem,
First time.
and then you
Yeah.
have the knowledge from it.
Yes,
It's
the
like
wisdom,
in sometimes as well when you have mid-voice coming out and they're telling you what they read in a book.
Yeah,
Experience comes from actually doing,
Yes.
you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know,
Totally
like
true.
you can get a voice from other people, but there's not like living through it and actually experiencing it and going through it. But so, like, when I think that someone like you, that finally, look, you explained everything to me in a perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, I find someone like you would be an ideal candidate that could really help people because you understand the pain, the issue, you know how to approach the people, you know how to be with them, and you know how to put things in place. Now, we'll talk about something fast, Wayne, right? Because I don't want to take too much out of you.
Right.
If you had a job, we'll say like I think it's called advocate or something like that, in helping people with drug addiction and things like that, what would you do to make a change? What would you do to change it?
Like anything I could do, like to change it, like to change their mind. I'd sit down and talk to them like you're talking to me now.
Right.
And because talking to someone can open so much hope for a person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And make them feel like not kill. You made me change my mind today about doing something stupid even.
What was that, Wayne?
Like about trying the same thing that I did a couple of weeks ago.
And what was that, Wayne?
Suicide.
Right.
I'm sorry to say it, man. I'm ashamed of my life. But
How did you
that's
try and commit
exactly how I
suicide a
fucking
couple of
feel.
weeks ago, Wayne? I want people to understand. I want them to actually feel what you're going
I felt
through.
hopeless. I felt just
But
hopeless.
how did you actually try to commit suicide?
I jumped into the river and just jump into the river, man, and just.
Now, Wayne, look, I'm telling you, you're doing very, very well to be here. Right now, you know that. What was it, Wayne? Do you mind if I ask you about your experience, what it was like actually doing that?
Frightening, man.
So you were terrified?
Yeah.
Did you try and get out?
Yeah.
Was the water cold, freezing
It's
a bit?
cold,
Yeah.
freezing, yeah.
Did you swallow much of it, Wayne?
Small bit, not enough to kill.
But the
obviously, 'cause
problem
I'm
is,
still here.
I think
I don't know why I'm still here.
No, because you're meant to be here, because this
I
is
think
meant
I
to
have a
happen
purpose
today.
in
Look,
life.
you do have a purpose in life. Everyone has a everyone
I
has
should
a,
be dead
every-
50 times over.
No,
like,
but you're
dead.
not. But you're
Yeah.
not, and there's a reason for it.
Why
That's
does God
not
keep
the answer.
waking me up? Like,
He's
what?
not. He's
I
keeping
should
you
be
here for a
in
reason.
dead.
You shouldn't. It's not your time. He only gets to decide that everything happens for a reason. Now, can I ask you something, Wayne? As far as I
Yeah.
know, the tide was out the
Yeah.
day. Like, so if the tide wasn't out and there was no one just happened to be out doing their training or whatever was going on,
yeah.
is it fair to say you wouldn't be here right now?
Yes, 100%.
Imagine, and no one would have heard any of this. No one would have known why.
No,
they
they
would
were
have
just
just,
doing- yeah.
they would have just assumed like, oh, he probably owed money for drugs, or he was
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
high off his head.
That's it,
They would have assumed
stereotyping,
stereotyping.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's it,
yeah.
they flatline
Can I
it
ask
and
you,
say
Wayne?
that's what happened.
Can I ask you, Wayne?
Yes.
What abuse have you suffered down to being an addict?
Judgment, loads of judgment,
Right.
shame, and
Have you ever been physically harmed?
yeah.
Okay. Like that means by someone else, like just
Oh no, certain by someone else.
you've harmed yourself. I take
Yeah,
it, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, right. And what other abuse did you actually have to put up with? I suppose people saying and whatever things and all, giving wrong opinions, is it?
I suppose, I don't know, the shame that comes with the drugs as you're doing them. You don't even want to be doing them, but you do them anyway. Shame, do you feel that?
And can I ask you, Wayne,
feel-
have you ever done drugs in public?
Yes, yeah,
Okay, right.
Definitely.
So that's how bad the addiction is. Like
Yeah.
you just don't. After a while, you just stop caring.
yeah.
So
That's exactly
so
it.
so
yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
So sad. Like the issues that we have today, you know,
It's a hopeless
the things
case.
that are occurring.
Yeah.
But Wayne, look, I'm going to make sure that the video goes to the right people,
Yeah.
and it's
Just-
highlighted in the right way. I just wanted to
That's
go
all I
viral,
wish
Wayne.
to say. I'm sorry,
Because
no,
no,
yeah.
you've nothing to be sorry about, Wayne.
So-
I'm glad I met you today, and especially in your time of need. Basically,
So-
look, Wayne, this is something that look. If I can say something that makes a man change his mind from leaving this world or doing something in a harmful way, it's like a man could be on his way to commit suicide, you could say, look, you're looking well, pal.
Yeah.
You never know what's truly in the inside of someone.
Yeah.
I find it very wrong the way they made your mind up for you outside. How could they know what you were thinking, man? If
That's
that's, the
exactly
case,
what it
they'd
is.
know the lotto
Yeah.
numbers for next week.
Yeah,
Do you know,
yeah,
you don't know
Someone
what's
said that to me the other day, exactly that, man, yeah.
No, there you go, there you go.
Look.
You don't know, you do not know. So I'd always, the way I see a thing is always give someone your best.
Yeah.
You could say to the fella, well, how you getting on? You're looking well today. He could be on his way to kill himself, and you could change his way of thinking. Do you know?
Exactly,
Our problem
yes.
in our society today is people don't care enough.
No,
Now
they
look,
don't.
when
Shit,
I'm
like-
hearing something there that's very, do you know, like it's worth putting out there.
Yeah,
I know,
please
I'm
God.
sure people
Please
can.
God, yeah.
No, trust me, it will. I know people record stupid things like, and like in fairness, this is what we should be doing more with.
Yeah.
like, I know from experience, right? Now, one thing I never done, because I find it absolutely disgusting, if you're going to buy a homeless person a meal, don't go sticking a phone into their face. They're already embarrassed enough sitting on the ground, so this is not something you need to do. So, like, basically what I feel is when, like give that person your time, then you know one of the most important things during the winter to a homeless person is a pair of socks. Why isn't people doing more?
Even that, I can't understand.
You don't, like, they're buying people food and people can't eat it or for being sick from the drugs.
The people who are not on drugs, who are judging the people who are on drugs, have a total...
They don't understand because they've never been,
Of course, no one wakes up in the morning and says, I want to be on that footpath, half sick and half dead. But that's where it leads you. You know what I mean? It
leads you down that road, man.
Yeah, that's all I wish to say.
Is that all you wish to say?
I hope someone listens to this, really do, to help every single fucking addict on this whole planet, because if I could click my fingers right now and put it into drugs, every single one of them, I would do that right now.
I know you
because
believe that.
I can imagine the planet in 5 years' time what people would be doing to...
But you know,
in place of drugs would be fishing, fucking handball, sports, swimming, golf.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Drugs are...
But you know, can I say something, you know, Wayne? In order for someone to help you, but in order for someone to help you, you do know you also have to help yourself first.
100%, yeah.
So, like, basically, you're telling me, so Wayne, right, that you've been on drugs this length of time, and you managed to come off them without any help on your own, availing of prescribed drugs, methadone, okay, smoke a little bit of cannabis, okay, that's not really...
And eventually that'll go as well.
Okay, so you want to be... Okay. So you want no drugs in your life. Jeez, you're a great person, man. You're a great person. You don't realise your strength and how strong you are. You're at your weakest and lowest at the moment, and you're still more better than most of the people I know out there up in their so-called high horses, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Wayne, can I ask you something? Have you any problem with me putting this out, making this go viral?
No, I appreciate.
Do I have your full consent?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, I have your full consent.
You asking me
and just bear in mind, like, is there anything in this for me? Only the fact of helping you out. That's all I want to do is help you. That's all I want to do, pal. And trust me, I will. Because I'm going to make sure that every person, as far as I can share this video, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right?
Thanks very much.
No problem at all, pal.
God, thanks, man.